It's always a good time for the producers podcast, Tall Paul,
Yes, it is.
because we've got crap else to do. So since I'm Jack Silver, you're Paul Joseph, a couple of former radio producers and, well, actually currently producing,
Yes.
directing.
Yes.
Oh, we've done it all, big boy. We've done it all.
And to show that we've done it all, you
Yes.
know, look at the way we dress. I mean, you're in a golf shirt.
Right.
I'm in a hoodie. I mean, what are we saying? We live in the same city, Jack.
Well,
what is this?
Is it cold at your house?
Well, no, it was cold at 4 a.m. when I left this morning.
Right. Yeah. Well,
and I just got home and I haven't changed.
Yeah. Well, no, it's cool at my place, but I'm actually grinning and bearing it for the podcast so that we don't come across as a couple of unkempt producers. But I found something that I think you're going to really like, Paul.
Okay.
It's basically this. The story of late night.
Boy, you hit on a strong topic for me. I love, I'm in love with late night, the whole story of late night, everything about it.
And CNN, in fact, I thought of you and the Producers Podcast, season 4, episode 2.
Yes.
When I started watching this, CNN is doing a series called The Story of Late Night. Oh, and great. Both of us love late night TV or have loved it over the years.
Yep.
And have feelings. And like, if you look at this screen here, you've got Jay Leno, you got Colbert, you got Jimmy Fallon, you got Letterman, you got Arsenio, don't forget Arsenio, don't sleep on Joan Rivers. And then, of course, the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest of all time, Johnny Carson is Karnak.
Yes.
So, which brings
with that in mind, let's talk about late night TV. Let's. Yeah, now that's fun.
All right. Well, I'll start with this. Now, the show, the CNN show, does go back into the 50s. I think that's crazy to do that. But if you see this is the evolution of the Tonight Show, for example.
This is great.
Yeah. See, it starts with Jack Parr. Then it goes
Steve Allen, right?
I'm sorry, Steve Allen. Then it goes to Jack Parr. Then it goes to
Johnny.
Then it goes to Leno. Then it goes. Then I forgot Conan O'Brien. They wedged him in there for a second.
That was a little humiliating for Conan, but after they spent $10 million on a set and all this stuff, it was basically on and off.
And then now it's Jimmy Fallon. We'll get to that in a second. So here's what this is the question I wanted to ask you. Of all these people, from Jimmy Fallon back to Johnny Carson, everybody in between, Arsenio Hall, David Letterman, who's your top 3?
Oh, top 3. Okay.
Late night hosts, whether it was CBS, NBC, or Fox, seem to be the biggest, the 3 major networks.
Okay. I got it for you because it just popped into my head.
Right. Top 3.
Yeah. Top 3. I'll go backwards. Okay. For you. Number 3 would be Jay Leno.
Hold on. I'll have
At
to
the
do
number
this.
3 position, I would put
number 3 position. There's Jay Leno.
Jay Leno right there.
Right there. And what did you like best about him, or what's your feeling? Why is Jay Leno a top 3 late night talk show host?
I just thought Jay Leno was easygoing.
Yeah.
And everyone seemed to like him. He was this affable guy that would come out. And if you ever went to his show, and I did quite a few times, he'd come out in this denim blue outfit. He always wore the same outfit, work shirt, denim blue, and just a regular guy, and the guy was a Rolls Royce mechanic. So I kind of liked him for that because I know he's a comedian and he does all those things, and he's a funny comedian, still is. But I thought that the way he touched people and allowed them to touch him just made him very friendly and outgoing. And the style of his show, I really got to like. I enjoyed his bits and I enjoyed his show.
Sure. And I'll agree with you on Jay Leno as a top 3. And the reason I would say he took over, and, part of the CNN show called The Story of Late Night talks about the nuances of the monologue, the man on the street, and different bits that were really handed down from Steve Allen through Jack Parr to all that stuff. And of course, we're too young to remember Jack Parr or Steve Allen, but when Johnny hit there, the big opening with the monologue, tell some jokes, be funny, be topical, be funny. Don't have to, no preaching, no BS like that. And you're right. Jay Leno was an everyman, and he made you feel like he was just, if you ran into him on the street, which people have in Los Angeles because he's all over the place, he'd be the same guy on TV as he would if you stopped him on the street.
I think I told you the story where, you know, he'd come to drive on Pacific Coast Highway, and one day he pulled up next to me, and I actually worked for the guy, but this is before I worked for him. But he saw me, and I was in a convertible, and he said, but the top wasn't down, and he pulled up one of those old cars of his. He's got a million, really old Duesenberg, or I don't know what the hell.
No, like the chitty bang bang car.
yeah.
What are you
he's looking for Dick Van Dyke,
right?
You know? But so, and he goes, hey, you gonna put down the top on that thing or not? You know, that's what he said to me. That was his first words to me. And I started laughing, and I said, well, I literally, Jay, live around the corner. We're talking because we're at a signal. Yeah. And I said, I live right over there. And he said, all right. And I said, what year is that? He said, it's a 1939 Duesenberg or whatever it was. And he goes driving off, putting off, and I roared off. And that was my first. And then as fate would have it, I ended up writing for him down the line, which was fun.
No kidding. Yeah.
But
he's the real deal. And
he's the real deal.
Yeah. So he's top three. All right.
Yeah.
Number two.
Oh, number two, definitely for me. Yeah. Number two is David Letterman. You know,
David Letterman, you say? Okay, yes. Well, here's a little shot of your boy Dave with.
Oh, there's Dave. Yeah,
Madonna.
But of course, and I love Dave because, again, he was neurotic, and you know, I was able to be backstage a couple of times for different things when he was there, and I remember one time he was dressing for the show, and I happened to be walking by, and he stuck his head out with one arm, and he said, hey, is anybody going to come over here and help me with this? You know, and he just had this arm sticking out with a blue shirt, and he's just yelling out and there's no one there. He's just yelling out the door of his dressing room. But he was neurotically very funny for me, and I liked him, and I liked his style was much different than Jay's. Yeah. And you know, I like the way he incorporated his mom into things, and he did the good bits, the stupid pet tricks and whatnot. My only thing, and you got to remember, Johnny Carson the Tonight Show started in New York, so it was Steve Allen, Jack Parr, Johnny Carson until they moved to California, right, to Burbank. And I always felt that David Letterman was too very New York centric. Obviously, he did his show from the center of Manhattan. So it was always that. And I always thought he was kind of snarky and stuff like that. He wasn't my favorite. During the days when it was Johnny versus Dave, was that right? There was a period of that time when there was. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. But I wouldn't you'd have to put David Letterman in the top 5. But for me, he just never floated my boat. It wasn't must view watching. Yeah. But I can see why you liked it because very clever. Yeah. Great band leader, Paul Schaefer. And very consistent, good with the guests. Sit there and do that on the keys, and I just like, you know what else I like? You reminded me of it is he would just take things up to the roof and drop them to see what would happen. I mean, that to me is funny, and I kind of like the fact. I think that he was from New York because he was New York, and he always introduced a lot of things New York style and stuff. Yeah. And for me, being a born and bred Californian, it was kind of fun to see the difference. So for all those reasons, I put Dave at number 2 for me. Okay. Yeah. I probably wouldn't put David Letterman in number 2. I don't know who I would, other than I used to love Arsenio Hall when he was in his prime. Yeah. But the show was different and new. And like I've said, I like Black perspectives. You know, I'm tired of Hugh Grant, romantic comedies. I just had a butt full of it. I think, you know, maybe, well, no, I can't go new because Jimmy Fallon, who I like a lot, and we'll talk about that in a second. You don't like Jimmy Fallon, I kind of do. Yeah. But I think somewhere maybe I'd go Jay Leno, Arsenio Hall number 2, or flip flop those 2 guys, and I'm pretty sure that we're both on the same page with our number 1 late night talk show host of all time. That'd be Johnny Carson. That would have to be Johnny Carson. Yeah, and that's more. You know, to refresh everyone's memory, he kind of looks like this. There he is with Robin Williams. With Robin Williams, and here's the thing, Paul. Yeah. First of all, part of the story of late night, the show that's on
CNN right now that they're running out. Remember, Johnny Carson started out as a magician, and he was always like a showman. And then evidently he had already had a show on NBC somewhere that when this Jack Parr tried to pull a power play, they said, get him out of there. And they moved Johnny Carson up the level.
Yeah. I know Johnny was in radio. He started in radio.
By the way, like most of them, I think Letterman was a radio guy. Yeah. Johnny Carson was a radio guy.
Yeah.
But you can't.
You know how, funny story. Did you hear how Johnny Carson got fired from radio?
I did not.
He was in Nebraska where he was born.
Right.
And he was doing some commercial, and it was for some Nebraskan bank. And he said he added into the commercial, because it was live commercial he was reading. He added in, he said, and by the way, he said they're open right now and handing out money. So get over there and get your money.
Mistake.
They fired him for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess a different day, they wouldn't fire you now for saying that kind of stuff. But back then, I guess it was, you weren't supposed to do that. So.
And maybe for me, it's also the familiarity. It's like during the COVID, everybody's looking for things that make them feel comfortable. It's like comfort food.
Right.
And I've told you that the Johnny Carson shows are on one of these old time TV channels called Antenna TV.
Yeah.
But you watch it and it is still funny and topical on the monologue. Then either he sits down with Ed McMahon and just did some riffing, or did the Mighty Carson Art Players or whatever. And then he would bring out a person of interest. He had a guy who the dog could scale a tree, and it was just crazy stuff. And then he would bring out Charlton Heston or Robin Williams or and which they use nowadays. They bring the best stars out first,
right?
And it's just Johnny Carson and many of the late night hosts who followed him have pretty much copied some of the stuff. They've taken
with the animal stuff. Johnny did all that. And
right. When he would bring Joan Embry from the San Diego.
Joan Embry. And I love the one bit where I think it's Joan or it's one of the guys, or there was a Fowler guy too that did it.
Yeah. Jim Fowler. Yeah.
Jim Fowler. And they've got this cougar caged up, but and Johnny's leaning over. So Johnny gets up and kind of leans in and goes, oh, nice boy, like that. And he goes, roar! And Johnny runs across the stage and jumps into Ed McMahon's arms. Yeah. It was just such a funny live bit that I loved it.
And to your point about Ed McMahon, that's another, some of the bits and pieces, like everybody had to have the sidekick. Whether, whoever these, like Letterman had Paul Schaefer, Johnny had Ed McMahon, and on and on. So I think, here's the thing, what I would say. Now, I agree with your top three.
Okay.
I would flip-flop 2 and 3, maybe put Leno second and Arsenio third.
Okay.
But I do recommend if you watch it on demand, check out The Story of Late Night.
I'm going to.
And the first stuff is way in the past, but as it's moving forward, you're seeing even the whole Joan Rivers thing, I showed you on that one picture.
Yeah, I want to watch that. And then I read, because I was reading on late night TV, because I do love it.
Yeah.
And that the only thing I know about Jack Parr is that he used to cry on stage and then walk off and leave the show. Now, I don't know if maybe the guy was way ahead of his time and he was doing that for ratings, but he would emotionally start crying over something.
Yeah.
He'd just get up and leave the show and go home.
Yeah, they talked about that. They featured a couple of his things and he actually walked off the show and quit over something. I forgot. And that opened the door for some guest hosts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And then if you fast forward to today, you got the two Jimmys, Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
And you've got Stephen Colbert. Now,
who's by the way is my favorite.
Okay, I was going to say of those three.
Yeah.
I think you like Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
I like Jimmy Fallon. You don't.
Why?
Well,
why? I'm just asking why. I mean,
well, no.
Let me clear it up. I love Jimmy Fallon when he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And I think he's funny. I still love him when he goes back and does it. There he is.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about being a talk show host is, you're there to bring the best out in your guests.
Yeah.
And the guys we mentioned do that.
Yeah.
Jimmy, unfortunately, likes to try to compete with anybody that he has on the show. If you sing, I sing. If you dance, I dance. If you play guitar, I play guitar.
Yeah.
If you joke, I joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got to one up everybody. I tell you, the reason I like him is because he's very super talented. So some of the things he does, like singing in the subway with Miley Cyrus, is good. Him and the band performing some things with.
Okay. Listen to what you're saying, Jack. Singing with Miley, performing with the band.
Right.
Okay. What's your next thing?
Acting out skits with other actors and actresses.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Trying to have a basketball contest with Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, he'll be shooting.
There are no bits where the camera doesn't have to swing over to him, even when there's a guy doing a comedy routine, because he's got it in there that you got to swing over and see him.
I got it. He's a little self-centered.
A little bit.
Just a smidge. But I also like him because he's funny and not mean. I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel fan, so we can just gloss right over that. And Stephen Colbert, I think, is very, very talented. I think he got into a little bit of a situation, if you will. He was all in on the anti-Trump thing, which so he made a living, and the ratings were very high when he was bashing Trump during the whole Trump administration.
Yeah.
And now that there is no Trump, I think he's kind of floundering to figure out what he's going to be. And I understand the ratings are low.
Oh, really? I didn't even know.
Lower. Donald Trump said that when he leaves office, everyone's ratings are going to go in the crapper. I agree, but I'm good with that because I have no money. I have no interest in that. On who's got ratings or who doesn't. So again, I can speak to the fact that this thing, the story of Late Night, featuring these guys, is definitely worth recording and watching and kind of see the history of it, especially if you're younger and you've never, you don't know, even Johnny Carson. I got to believe there's a lot of kids who've never seen any Johnny Carson. And I think they would like it if they watched it.
I think they would too. I think I think it would spark a lot of people to want to be in entertainment. Yeah. And B, maybe be talk show hosts or whatever, because it's such a fun format when done right.
And last thing that I just remembered too, that you'll see in the series. Yeah. Everything was prime time. Mm-hmm. And they didn't really know what to do with late night television. They figured, well, let's just try anything. So they even tried some regular talk, like political talk shows, and that didn't work. So they realized that formula: monologue, man on the street, guest interviews, etc. And it started way back there, and it's basically still the same format.
It is
overall that was from back in the day.
You're right.
Well, that's the story of late night, Paul.
I like it.
I knew you would like that. Now I wanted to switch gears for just a second.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten a text like this? Can you see that? Am I holding it up right?
Strawberries, mint. Yes, I can see this. It looks horrifyingly a lot like what I have on mine all the time. That my wife sends me,
Right.
And
so I have a question.
Yes.
Have you ever been driving home or at work and received one of these?
When don't I? I mean, seriously, this is the bane of my existence. And here's the thing. Now, if you bring this up, I'm okay with stopping by to get a thing of bread or some eggs or even some milk. Yeah. But when you stop and tell me, you're driving, I hurry, I work all day. I try to get home at a decent hour so I can do my workout, because that's when I work out. And I'm stopped to look for a litany of 5 or 6 things, from number 2 eye pencil to number 4 eye shade to baby oil to these things. I don't know where they are in the market. I don't even know if by the way, the last thing I went to, I had to go to the market, then I had to go to CVS because they didn't even have the things in the market. They were
the number 2 pencil for the eyeliner. That's great. No, my stuff is usually just here's what it is too. Yeah. So I'm golfing on a Sunday, and about the 9th hole, going to the back 9. All of a sudden, I'll see this list, and it starts out with mint and milk and eggs, and then by about the 13th hole, she adds
keeps coming
the cauliflower pizza.
Yeah.
So it's like and then by the time you're done, there's 8 things on this list, and so to your point, I think the biggest point is can you grab some of those things, Missy, or whoever's sending that list? Your wife or your child, anybody. Why don't you guys do that?
How about as a family, you guys go to the market?
Yeah. Well,
go to the CVS, get what you need.
Well, Dad's out, bringing home the bacon.
Yeah.
How about you fry it up in the pan? How about it?
Ooh, I'm glad you said that and I didn't.
No, and look, I shouldn't say it that way because I have always said I like to be needed. Mm-hmm. So it's good that someone says, "Hey, Jack, can you pick up all these different things?" But it's kind of like the timing. Like in your case, you've been working since 4 this morning, producing a major market morning show.
Right.
You leave work at say 2:30. Yeah. On the way home, wouldn't it be nice to just buzz home, kick off your shoes, maybe go shoot some baskets with your son, and then go about your business? But no, you're at the CVS pharmacy looking for eyeliner pencil.
Yes.
Feminine hygiene products.
Smoky stuff that goes on your eyelids. I have no idea where this stuff is. Yeah. So then I have to wait there's no customer service, as you know, anymore. So you have to wait and wait. Finally, someone comes from CVS or wherever the pharmacy you're at and says, "Oh yeah, it's over here, in what shade?" And I'm going, "I don't know. Just give me smoky."
Well, this is what I do, Paul. If you can finally grab someone from the store. Yeah. And they say, "Do you need some help, sir?" I go, "Yes, I do." Yeah. You know where this crap is?
Honestly, see, that's smart. Yeah, that's smart.
I just hold the thing up and he goes, the oranges are over there. The mozzarella balls are over there. The cauliflower rice is over there. So I think,
by the way, you're going Italian tonight, it seems like.
That was from a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
We've already burned through that. Now I'll get no, the 2 things. I like to feel needed. Got it. But as a public service announcement on behalf of the Producers Podcast, call Paul Joseph, Jack Silver, a couple of producers who now have nothing but time on their hands.
I wish.
Can you folks in our sphere, whoever they are, how like you're the son, Paul.
Yes.
And all your kids and your mother, everybody's swirling around you. Yes. Can any of them pitch in a smidge?
Well, and here's the answer. The short answer is, of course they can. Yeah. But will they? Because guess what? Daddy's on the freeway. Daddy's coming home. Daddy's passing by Albertsons. Daddy's doing this and that. It's like, okay, I got you. Yeah. I got you. And I want to help. I want to I want to be there. I want to do whatever I can.
And it's a small price to pay, but but it's usually the timing. Again, as I'm saying, you're driving home, and I'm on the golf course. I just need a little time for father over here. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
Little Father's Day.
That's it.
Father's Day every day.
Right.
But mothers deserve it too. And listen, I'm always happy to help. Mother's Day is every day.
Every day. In the Paul Joseph house. All right. We got to wrap things up because as it turns out, I've got to pick up my significant other from her place of work.
And some strawberries from what I understand.
And I got to stop off at the Vaughn's and pick up some strawberries and some watermelon hint water because God forbid we drink our vodka without it.
Don't do it.
Okay. One last public service announcement on behalf of the Producers Podcast.
Okay.
Get a vaccine.
Yeah. How about that? I got mine.
One or both? Are you done?
I'm done. I just finished.
Yeah. I'm done.
Very excited.
And I got some bugs flying around. Sorry.
Jack, you never want to stay in one place too long because.
No, the bugs start flying. All right.
It's not a good sign, buddy.
No. Well, how can there be bugs in this house? All right, seriously, the woman cleans it within an inch of its life. There's more Lysol around here and spray than. All right, but I digress.
Yeah.
I don't understand anti-vaxxers. Please, if that's your thing, now is not the time for that.
No.
It seems like everything's coming out of, we started this podcast during the height of the pandemic in March and April of 2020.
Right.
We're now in May of 2021 as we're talking.
Amazing.
To get to the promised land,
almost
everybody needs to get the vaccine. So when I'm talking to people that don't want to do it, or I listened to a radio show the other day where one of the producers' mother, she doesn't want to get it, and because she's doing research and she's going to figure out the percentage of the people who got sick and this and that. Please do us all a favor. Roll up your sleeve, take the thing. Now, did I have a little side effect of mine on the second shot? Yes, I did. What did I get? I got a little fatigued, and then I got a little foggy in my head, which I wasn't really sure if that was the shot,
right,
or just the regular Jack Silver foggy in the head thing.
Olive drop at the right hour too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I needed to replenish the tequila supply, and I was. But anyway, do you agree, Paul? We can wrap up the Producers Podcast by saying, now's not the time for anti-vaxxing BS. Get the vaccine.
Absolutely not. I can't say it strongly enough. Herd mentality,
right?
Fragmentation, disorientation, loss of momentum. These are the vices of the herd. But in this case, you have to have herd mentality to get this thing under wraps. Because, by the way, it's always mutating while we're talking. So the 6 months you're waiting to get your vaccine, it's mutating. So you need to get it in your system now so that your body has those antibodies to fight it off. It's critical.
It's critical. So all right, I don't want to. So let's leave on a high note.
Okay.
Are you serious?
I mean, you set me up for that. Sorry.
Well, that's one of my favorite jokes of all time. All right. Well, that's it. The Producers Podcast.
You're done. You're melting. Let's go while you're melting. We'll see you next time. Hey, check us out. Like us if you want. Share us. Tell us your comments.
Yeah.
Next
Peace
time.
out.